Right. And I think so many people are so focused on like just reacting and doing things in what's in front of them, and they don't take that time to think, what do I really want to do? Like reflecting, what is my actual path, right? Like what is my personality? Like I think a lot of people just assume they know their personality because I'm me, so thus I know who I am. But I often find, I work with a lot of parents, and a lot of parents often feel, oh, I know who my kid is because I know what their favorite ice cream was when they were 8 years old. And I'm like, that's great. And that's not to say, I'm not saying that that's kind of stuff is not important as well, but I've sometimes they don't know what their kid values and what their kid really likes. And so then they're trying to push them off on things that, have nothing to do with what their kid actually might be good at and what they might really want to do with their life. Um, like the story I always tell is because it happened not recently, now it's been like 6 months, but on New Year's, I was at a New Year's party, a family New Year's party, and my uncle had ordered these oysters. So I was shucking these oysters, right? Because I apparently I'm the one who knows how to shuck them. And I was like, oh, like I asked my cousin's kid, hey, why don't you come help me? I'll show you how to shuck the oysters because there are a lot of them. And we got to talking, and he had just graduated pharmacy school. And I was like, oh, okay. So like, what do you want to do now? Like, and he's like, I don't know, but as long as it's a job where I don't have to be in the same place all day long. And I was like, you just graduated from pharmacy school. You picked the wrong school, buddy, because that's all
Yeah.
pharmacists do. And I was like, well, but the nice thing is knowing his personality, which I did, I was like, oh, you might want to try pharmaceutical sales. That might be something that you'd be really interested in because you get to travel, you get to move around all day. It's a hustle, but he's a hustler. He can hustle. Because some people don't like hustling and doing like sales, but he can do it. And he was like, well, I don't know if I want to waste all the knowledge that I learned in pharmacy school. And I said, like, well, you only have one life, you want to waste that doing something you don't love? And he's like, oh, I guess that's true. And I always tell that because it's like so important to know what we really value and who we are, because otherwise you're going to spend like 30 years of your life doing a job that you hate. And then 30 years later, you're like, God, I wish I'd done something else. Now is the time to do it. And unfortunately, some people are too like, we get older, and sometimes when we get older, we can't physically do the things that we used to do 30 years before. So,
I think actually that really brings to mind the idea that as a kid, we're kind of pushed in a direction, right? Growing up, and almost instills fear in us to go out and pursue what we think it is because we don't want to displease somebody. We don't want to disappoint them because, oh well, they thought we were going to turn out to be a doctor, but here we are as a wilderness meditation guide, something
mhm.
off the